This is your WCIA 3 forecast first.
We got a calm night out there across central Illinois. No major issues. Satellite radar picture nice and clear. Our temperatures tonight are hanging into the low 70s. We've got now an upper 60s, 68 in Champaign. Pretty nice. Temperatures tomorrow are going to be back up into those mid-80s for highs. Plenty of sunshine once again. But we've got to talk about those smoky skies. You may have noticed those out there today. Talk about that and some rain that is in the forecast that may impact part of your weekend. Those details are coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
An American Legion has seen its share of violence outside of its walls. How a community is fighting back. Plus, Governor Pritzker is looking to be reelected. Now the question is, who could run against him? And TikTok is a platform for short videos. How those precious few seconds are helping people find jobs.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
That's really our best chance at really combating gun violence. So we just encourage everybody to be a part of the solution.
And that means bringing together the city, churches, and community members. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Tonight, groups in Champaign worked together on solutions for safety. This comes after several shootings over the years at an American Legion post. 3 shootings have happened since 2018 at post 559 on North Hickory Street. WCIA 3's Bryce Beeman joins us. Bryce, walk us through what has happened there.
Earlier this month, 1 person was killed and 4 others were hurt after a shooting in the Legion's parking lot. Family was holding a funeral luncheon. In August of 2018, a 48-year-old man was shot and killed outside the entrance. And in November of that same year, a woman was shot in her car after leaving the Legion. She did survive. Now, city officials are looking for ways to bring safety to the area to make sure scenes like this don't happen again.
We will not be scared away because of gun violence. We won't normalize gun violence.
After a shooting earlier this month killed 1 person and hurt 4 at the American Legion Post 559, the city of Champaign teamed up with the Legion to focus on safety in the neighborhood.
We won't be run off by these instances, and so as a community and as a city, you know, we are determined to keep showing up and keep rallying and keep mobilizing people as often as they'll show up and they'll have us. So we would encourage that same sentiment in the community.
They hosted a forum which included resources that spoke about ways to help kids deal with gun violence, ways to deal with their own trauma from gun violence, and they also talked about mental health resources available. Other resources included ways to help people who are involved in gun violence escape that lifestyle, as well as Crime Stoppers, who encourage people to call in tips anonymously.
Really trying to push out information, resources, but at the same time let the community know that if they have information or if they would like to start, being a part of the process of, the movement to end gun violence in their community, that there are lots of avenues for them to join.
And the American Legion is also increasing safety measures. They'll be using their cameras and also working with police to patrol the area consistently. But they hope this forum will help spark ways to stop the violence.
I just feel for the families, okay? I just really do. I really feel for the families that they had to go through this. And we hope and pray that something come out of this meeting that can make sure that this don't happen again.
If you want more information on the groups involved during the forum, we will have that information on our website. Jess?
All right, Bryce, thank you. A man wanted for murder in Decatur is now in custody. Police arrested 54-year-old Paul Outland after they say he stabbed a man in the neck. This happened at a house near El Dorado and Union this morning. Police found 34-year-old Anthony Jones after a wellness check. He later died at the hospital. Police say the two knew each other. The man accused of ramming a stolen truck into the Champaign County Jail appeared in front of a judge today. Yevgeny Nikolaev was arraigned on charges including attempted murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated DUI. He could face up to 80 years in prison. He's currently in the McLean County Jail. The Champaign County Sheriff says that's for safety purposes. Meanwhile, the sheriff is taking a close look at security at the satellite jail in Urbana. He says it was something already on their radar because of feelings toward law enforcement right now. He says what happened last week reiterated the need for updated security.
Well, I think after an incident like this, it's always natural to be a little concerned about what's going on. So I think it's healthy to reevaluate processes from time to time. Unfortunately, this has, or fortunately, has kind of forced that to be a little more quickly than what we maybe would have gone in the future.
The sheriff says next steps are to fix the fence and secured entrance that were damaged. Taxpayer money will pay for it, and he doesn't know if it'll be more than the normal budget. We now know the name of the Westville man who died in a kayaking accident. The Vermilion County coroner says the body of 27-year-old Dustin Hayes was pulled from the Middle Fork River near Oakwood this morning. Dispatchers were called to that area last night. IDNR had closed off the river yesterday afternoon because of flooding hazards. A person is in custody after a fire at the Save-A-Lot in Paris this morning. Firefighters were on the way to their scene when a propane tank exploded. There was heavy smoke damage and all of the groceries there are ruined. Conan MacArthur was arrested after investigators reviewed footage. He's charged with arson. A house fire remains under investigation. It happened last night in Savoy on Winterberry Road between Summerbrook and Astoria Drives. The family was able to get out okay. Volunteer fire departments showed up to help Savoy Fire. The Tolono Fire Chief says it's important to have help from other departments when you're a volunteer station.
All the fire departments have agreed to help each other in their time of need. In the volunteer fire service, that's huge. We rely a lot on our neighboring communities to help us, and then we go help them whenever they need us.
He says they need more volunteers, adding that's why they lean on other departments for help. A soccer field is not a normal spot for a helicopter to land, but that was the case tonight in Savoy at Bill Smith Park. The fire department had AIRLIFE training and the community came out to watch them. The department practiced how to support an emergency landing and how to establish a landing zone.
If we have a situation particularly farther out in the country or out on the road somewhere where you have a seriously injured individual, we can call in Life Flight and they can come take that patient either to an emergency center, perhaps Springfield, or certainly to Carl Hospital.
A big crowd there checking out the helicopter. The fire department says AIRLIFE doesn't do this training too often and it requires a very special landing zone to pull off. Statewide service for Amtrak is reopening, including routes connecting Chicago to Springfield and to St. Louis. It's a first since the start of the pandemic. Conductors are still taking precautions, enforcing public health rules on board through September. That means everyone, vaccinated or not, will have to wear a mask. The race for governor is on. Governor Pritzker made an official announcement about his plans today. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell has the latest from Springfield.
Governor Pritzker wants 4 more years in office. The first-term Democrat and billionaire announced on Twitter in a 3-minute video that he plans to seek re-election for a second term to the highest office in the state. His announcement now official but expected for several months. In February, he delivered his State of the State speech from a mass vaccination site, leaning into his role in fighting the coronavirus. And in March, he cut himself a $35 million check for his campaign. His campaign video declaring him a strong leader in tough times.
Look, I may not have gotten every decision right, but at every step along the way, I followed the science and focused on protecting the lives and livelihoods of the people of Illinois.
Few people expect any Democratic contenders to jump into a primary challenge against the incumbent Democrat. The big question? Which Republicans will run against him? Right now, State Senator Darren Bailey, former State Senator Paul Schimpf, and businessman Gary Rabine already in the race. Could Republican Congressman Rodney Davis join them? We asked him on Capitol Connection.
I think any Republican candidate we choose is going to be able to beat Governor Pritzker. Absolutely, I do. Any Republican candidate, if going through and chosen in the primary to run head-to-head against Governor Pritzker, who has a record of failure, is going to come out victorious.
Whichever Republicans jump into the race, they'll have a long slog. The primary, usually set for March, is postponed until late June of next year. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell.
A former Illini is headed to the Olympics for the first time, but it's not the experience he was expecting. Plus, the Champaign County Fair kicks off this week. What you should expect when you head out. Kevin, I wish I had taken a picture of what I saw tonight. Moon, the sky. I mean, It was crazy looking.
You said it looked apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic, yeah, that big red moon. It was huge.
Yep. And that was caused by smoke from wildfires that's actually out there in the sky. And we're going to talk more about that coming up, why it's here and how long it's going to be sticking around. Recap up today, 84 degrees. That's pretty close to normal. More of these normal days are ahead, but we've got to talk about a little rain that could be in the forecast and an increase in the humidity coming up.